Hello everyone, I hope this video finds you well, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about our illusion over the word control and about what we think control is and how it affects the way that we move through our life. But before I say anything else, I'd like to just very quickly just say that when I talk about any of these subject matters, when we've done any of this well-being, midweek mindfulness, any well-being stuff, any yoga stuff that I've talked about, anything that I've sort of delved into and dived into when it comes to the way that we see the world, the mind, and all that sort of business, it's not because I'm coming from a qualified space that I've gone and done some massive degree. What I've done is I've lived for the last 46 years and I've experienced some things that have affected me profoundly and some things that haven't. And I've been able to, through meditation and yoga and mindfulness practices, been able to compartmentalize and recognize when things are happening to me and to people around me, and that I have got some tools in my tool belt. My tool belt isn't full, but I have tools in my tool belt to help me go through my life, and all I'm trying to do is share my experiences that I've had. So when I talk about any subject matter, generally because I'm either been there, done it, or I'm going through it. And just because you think you've been there, done it, doesn't mean it won't come back round again for you. And I just want to make that clear that, I'm not coming from a preachy place. I'm not coming from a place where I'm just saying things because I think that I've read the right book for this. Yeah, I've read some books, but I read those books because I was going through something or because I was having a situation where I just didn't know what to do. So I reached out and looked for some answers. So that's the question and answer thing of, like, why do I make these videos? Because I've found a place where I can help myself, and I want there to be an outlet for somebody else like you guys. If you're watching this right now, if you find this interesting in any way, if it isn't relevant to you, fine, but it might be one day. And if it isn't relevant to you and it's never relevant to you, you might know somebody that it is. Doesn't mean you can fix them, but it means that you can have a compassionate ear and you can have some empathy. So, talking about control, the illusion that we think we have control over. And I want to go right back to the moment that you woke up this morning when you're watching this video right now. How much control did you have over opening your eyes and waking up? Or how much control you had over your eyes actually being able to focus and, well, maybe not focus, but being able to see? How much control did you have over when you sat up and you spun your legs around, being able to stand up if you are able to stand up right now? If you are able-bodied, how much control did you have over your able body doing what you think it normally should do? How much control did you have over the fact that you didn't fall down the stairs, or you didn't stub your toe, or or that it was raining outside, or you left something out and it didn't get wet because it didn't rain, and all those? How much control do you really think you have, and how much control do you realistically have on your life around you? And the control thing is something that's really important, because we think to ourselves that if we're in control of the things around us, like if I'm in control of my career or my destiny, or if I'm in control of like the kids, or if I can control my relationship, or I can control it, then everything will be just fine. Well, in fact, that the actual reality of it is that you have no control over anything except one thing. You only have control over the way you respond to the situations that are played out in front of you. That is the only control really you have within your life, because the variables in your life are so immense, they're so enormous, you could possibly not be in control of anything else. Think about it. Think about maybe a close call you've had in your life where you went to step out and you didn't, and a car went past you, or a bike went past you, or you went to open a door, and just before you opened the door, someone had already opened it, so you didn't get hit in the face. Just little things like that. How much control did you actually really have over that? None. It was circumstantial. It was just how it was supposed to be. And when we have those little fleeting moments of close calls, because something doesn't really happen to us, we just bypass it. But I think when we do have things that actually impact our lives, we see that as something that is fundamentally just directed at us. It's a personal thing. You know, that person on that bicycle, they left their house 7 miles away this morning, and their intention was to hit me when I stepped out in front of them. That is not the purpose of life. That is not what's happening to you. And I think when we lose the illusion that everybody's out there to get us, that everything out there is against us, that every inanimate object that falls off the shelf was specifically there just to hurt you, that's when we can have a little bit of freedom around how we feel about control in our lives. And it's about how we respond to whatever situation has arisen. That's where we find that control. That's where we will find that place of being able to determine how we decide our response or reaction to the things that are happening. And that, my friends, is the only control that we have. And I have been number one on the hit parade when it comes to overreacting, especially to inanimate objects, and situations and circumstances and people. And, the greatest saying in the world is, opinions are like assholes, everyone's got one. And, not everyone's opinion about you is what you think your opinion is. And not everyone's opinion about the rest of the world is the same as you. And we don't have to agree with everything. We don't have to go along with everybody. But we can respond and react in a calm, collected way. The other good saying is that, what people think of you is none of your business, because that's their opinion, not yours. And that's that in a nutshell. That's that control thing in a nutshell. What I think of me is all my business. What everybody else thinks of me, that's their business, and that has nothing to do with me whatsoever. That isn't to say that I don't find that I'm affected by it. And believe me, on the internet, I have been affected by people's comments about me. I mean, in my career as a barber, I have been absolutely slated. I am apparently, according to comments on YouTube, the best barber in the world, and simultaneously the worst barber in the world. I am neither of those two things. I consider myself to be good at my job. I am competent at my job. I care about my clients, and that is how I move forward. How I deal with what people think of me is that I recognize that that has nothing to do with me. And I then gain that control back. You feel like you've lost control because somebody has an opinion or someone makes a comment about something about you, and you feel that you've lost a part of you to that comment, but in fact that comment was never part of you. That was nothing to do with you. And I think when we recognize that only our opinion of ourselves should matter, only the love we have for ourselves is constant and perpetual and forever and impermanent, then when we recognize those things, we find a little bit of calm within our space. And it's taken me years, and I still flit in and out of this, but it's taken me years to recognize that I personally am the only person who should be concerned about how I feel about me. And I'm the only person who should be considered and worried about how I really feel about the rest of the world. And when I take stock of how I feel, and when I take stock of how I am, everything else external to me really doesn't make any difference. And when things are happening around us that are out of our control, it's really important to recognize that only my response to this, not my reaction, my response to this is the only true way that I can show how I feel about it. I don't react to it. I must be considered. And when I see things around me that make me feel uneasy or triggered, I have to recognize that all that's going on isn't me. And the only thing that is me is my response. So that's our midweek mindfulness. And I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I felt like I had a lot to say and it all just came out at the same time. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because this has happened to me in the last week, and this conversation has come up with some friends of mine as well. So I wanted to put it out there to you know, and I'm sending my love to you all, and I wish you all the very best. Until next time, I'll see you again.